Hey everyone, this is Tony Reeves. In the next couple of weeks, you're going to keep hearing more and more different titles of different types of doctors. And you probably are getting confused as to who these people are and why you should even care. So let's start breaking down some of these people, and we're going to start today with one that's referred to as an epidemiologist. Let's take a few minutes so I can share with you information about the who, the what, where, when, why, and how these people who are referred to as epidemiologists are, and why you should care. Let's start with who are these people. An epidemiologist is somebody who studies or is an expert in the branch of medicine which deals with incident, distribution, and possible control of diseases. So these people are usually ones who have either a master's degree or a doctorate level degree. And these are individuals who are literally going to be studying the patterns and incidence rates of diseases. What do epidemiologists actually do? For those of you who've never heard of an epidemiologist before, these are professionals that do have a specific skill set in terms of dealing with incidences of diseases. The primary responsibility of an epidemiologist is to collect and analyze data relating to a contagious disease. These people are important because literally what their responsibility to do is to track a disease. They're not just merely saying, oh, this is the name of a disease. They want to look at its patterns. They want to look what type of population it affects. They are looking at anything and everything in terms of data relating to a particular disease. When are these people used? Some of you may think that these people just kind of appear out of nowhere, but most of these individuals are constantly looking at disease patterns around the world at any given time. They are a valuable tool to decision makers to assist them in being able to combat various diseases. Where do they work? Well, it's not uncommon to see them working in the public health arena, but they work in the private sector and the public sector, which means they can work for a private company or for a state, county, city, or federal government. And it's not impossible to see them worldwide. You will see epidemiologists working for organizations like the World Health Organization. How do they do what they do? These are people who accumulate huge amounts of data, and they don't ignore anything. They're looking at patterns. They're looking at how long they last. They're looking at rate of effectiveness. And when I mean by rate of effectiveness, what do you mean by that? I mean, they're looking to see if somebody is taking a particular course of action to combat this particular disease, how effective is that? So when they're coming to you with all this data, they're coming not only from what they've analyzed, but they can also tell you about the experiences in other areas as well. So because they have this information, they can tell you that social distancing has an impact in reducing the numbers because they've seen it work in this particular area. Or they can say you shouldn't have large populations of people doing this, and that's because A, B, C, D, and D is the case. Why should you care? Because these people are the ones who track the disease. They're the ones who can literally tell you what works and what doesn't work. These are the ones who can tell you that if it looks like the trend in terms of the numbers of cases are going up and going down, and if they see weird things happening, like they see, if they're looking all over the country and they're trying to figure out why is this one particular state having a low number as opposed to others, they can look at that particular area and they can see, are they doing certain things? Do they have more personal protective measures in place? Are they doing different things in terms of the behavior and patterns of the people? They're looking at all this information because they're trying to gather as much information as possible to provide it to the decision makers who are doing these things. And decision makers may be government officials or private officials, so that this way they can take particular courses of action that can hopefully reduce those numbers. So you should really care when you hear somebody say they're epidemiologists on there, because what they can tell you is they can tell you the patterns of a particular disease, what impact certain behaviors will cause it to either go up and down, and what things work and what don't work, because they are relying so heavily on the statistics, the analyzation of the data, and the information is telling them about a particular condition.